at other waste during your project, the folks at Georgia Container and Portable Toilets of Georgia are here to help. For service with integrity, call 770-854-7906. That's 770-854-7906.
Celebrate our nation's big 250 with the Georgia State Defense Force Band, August 29th at the Carrollton Center for the Arts. Conductor Terry Lowry will strike up this outstanding military band at 2 p.m. The birthday party continues after the concert with a reception in the Arts Center's front lobby. Get your free ticket from the box office on Alabama Street in Carrollton. But hurry, seats are limited. The Georgia State Defense Force Band, August 29th at the Carrollton Center for the Arts. Sponsored by the Abraham Baldwin chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
And good morning. Welcome to the Community Voice. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today, we're very blessed to have my man, Justin Richards, pastor at Bowdon Baptist Church, here in the studio with us today, and our new friend, Kenneth Lou Koon. We're going to call him Lou, pastor at Mount Vernon Baptist in Fairburn. Today, we're going to be talking about the upcoming Intervene Challenge Crisis Knocks. This is from Stop Suicide USA, and it is an event that is coming up Saturday, September 26th. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Doors open at 8:30, hosted by Bowdon Baptist Church. So excited that Justin and his flock were down to host this event. Of course, you can learn more at stopsuicideusa.org/training. Our guest here, Lou, is a former U.S. Army chaplain and subject matter expert in suicide. He has dedicated his life to inspiring hope with over 2,200 successful interventions. His heartfelt stories and practical tools teach resilience, compassion, and the importance of courageous intervention. His mission is to awaken a culture of care, empowering individuals, families, and organizations to recognize signs and foster hope. Lou's personal journey from the brink of suicide and expertise in the field of resilience illuminate the path from despair to hope, reminding us all of the profound impact kindness and connection can have in saving lives. And I actually just read that background there from his book, One Reason to Live. To kind of hold that up to the camera there. One Reason to Live by Kenneth Lou Koon, a beacon of hope in the sea of suicide. This is a very important topic that I feel like we get the opportunity to discuss, maybe once every few months. But honestly, with how ongoing of a epidemic this is, we really should be having this conversation every week. Why don't we jump right in? If we could, let's get a little background, Justin. As we were talking before the show, you pretty much know everybody within a 100-mile radius. Right. Could you just tell folks at home a bit about yourself and a bit about your beautiful family? Because I love your family.
Yeah, so just real quick, Justin Richards, pastor of Bowdon Baptist Church. I've been there 10 and a half years. Was at Tice Baptist Church for 17 years. Grew up in Villarica, so West Georgia boy, lived here all my life. Jill and I will be married 30 years this December. We have 6 kids, four of those are adopted. So this is conversations near to our heart because we know that our kids run into some mental health questions sometimes, so that's been a deal. Obviously, we've experienced in our church context, we've lost folks to suicide, but the real kind of motivator is one lady in our church lost her son and was able to sit with Ken almost a decade ago, and she's always wanted to have an opportunity for the church, her church family, to be able to share the Intervene Challenge with her church family, but the larger community. So that's why we're having this conversation this morning.
So it's so personal. I mean, someone in your own congregation. And I meant to say this to you before, Lou. I've known Justin for a long time, and I couldn't have picked a better church for this event to be at because Justin is incredibly connected to the people in his church. He knows them. He knows their names. He knows what they're feeling. Yeah. He's, dare I say, hip. You know what I mean?
that's
Like
cool.
he's plugged in. The youth he knows what's going on. You know what I mean? And I think that goes a long way. You know, being able to approach someone in the congregation of it. You know, some
Absolutely.
15-year-old kid. Like how do you connect? You know, he just from my experience of getting to know him. You know, like Justin's always been really plugged into the people in his church and invested and concerned. And I love that this partnership has come together. A quick reminder for folks at home that this morning we are live streaming our episode with Justin and Lou as we discuss Intervene Challenge. On this morning's this program's on our WLBB News Talk 1330 Facebook page. So if you have any questions or comments for either of our guests, please feel free to hop in the chat. You can also check that on our Graddick Communications YouTube and share the links. Spread the good word. Lou, we got a bit of a background on you. I love that Lou means warrior. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
Maybe you could give folks a bit of the color outside of the background that I gave you, and maybe we could speak a bit about how this all came together, this sort of event.
Well, my brother here was just calling me Ken.
Sorry,
Rebecca,
dude. Yeah.
Rebecca did that
Yeah.
10 years ago. So up until I started having grandkids, I just share this with you. I was always Ken. But I like Lou. We talked about Lou Ferrigno earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was my hero growing up. And the meaning of the name. So Ken means handsome. That doesn't work for me much anymore. Never really worked. But Lou means warrior. And not that I am one, but if you remind me, you know, call me that, then it reminds me of what I'm supposed to be. And I think we all need that sometime.
Absolutely.
And so that's the reason for that, you know. But, you know, I'm from Irish descent, but one day I'll open an Italian restaurant, you know, Papa Lou's. But
Papa Lou's.
yeah, so,
Papa Lou's. I'd eat
you
there.
know, the thing is, I love the fact that we are getting involved with the church out here because what my brother here is doing on a personal level is what the church should be doing as a whole. We should be engaged in the community, know when people are hurting. It doesn't mean I'm in your business, but we should know. You know, we should have knowledge of people that are hurting. And I think that the church should be on the forefront of this mental health crisis that we've got in our country. And one of the reasons being, and I think we talked about this earlier when you and I talked first, 1 out of 3 people will go to church in the weeks before they take their life.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know
So,
that.
yeah, so if the church can get a grasp of the importance of this reality, conceivably, we could reduce the suicide rate by 30%.
It could be the safety net at the
Yeah.
very end there. Like
Yeah.
if no one else catches it, coworkers, family,
Right.
perhaps the church could.
You know, and some people say, well, why are they doing that? Well, maybe they're doing it to make peace with God. I don't think so. I think they're looking for one last-ditch effort. It's the guy floundering in the water, you know, looking for the lifeguard on the shore. Hey, help me out before I go under.
Yep.
And, let's go to church and see if that can happen. And unfortunately, in the past, you know, seminary students go to school for 3 or 4 years, and they don't get any training in suicide intervention, and then they come to work in a church, and everybody thinks that they can help with a crisis situation, and most of them aren't prepared to do that. So if we can train the church as a whole and the community as a whole, and then it becomes an outreach from the church to the community, because we're, you know, it's like I was going to say this morning, I stopped by the sheriff's office.
Right.
They weren't open yet, so I'll stop by there afterward and invite them, because we do offer CE credit for law enforcement.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Because up until just a few years ago, only 5% of law enforcement and first responders had any training in suicide intervention. Right. So they show up, and the citizen thinks that they know what to do, but up until just a few years ago, only 5% were trained. And we're making a concerted effort now to get more people trained.
Excellent. And this is a great opportunity. I mean, events like this is an opportunity for folks in the local community to gather together at Bowdon Baptist Church.
Absolutely.
And you know, get some of this information, some of this training.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a great day. It's a tough subject. Sure. But I've trained over 33,000 people now, and nobody said, I wish I hadn't come to that class.
Wow.
Everybody, you know, I've had people that come back because I say, I need a refresher. And, well, Rebecca's coming back after 10 years.
After you.
Know. And the thing I love about her story, she came, it was just a few months after her son took his life. And so we do a simulation exercise at the end of the class, and she jumped in and just slam dunk. She did it, and it was just a very healing time. And she said something to the whole group that day. She said, now I have a voice to make a difference. And that's really what it's all about.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Giving someone that opportunity to to have that confidence, have that awareness, and to have that strength to know that they can do this. And if they run into a problem like this,
that's the whole goal. We empower people. First of all, because a lot of people don't have the courage to ask the question, because and there's the myth involved. If I ask the question, I'm going to put the thought in their head. No, you're not. If you feel like you need to ask the question, they're already having that thought. Right. And Absolutely. So your courage to ask the question, that's the beginning of the installation of hope. Right. Just a nugget, just a seed of hope, and it'll turn it around. So, like I said, I've done over 2,200 suicide interventions. I quit counting about 5 years ago, so it's probably closer to 3,000 now. But everybody that we've gotten to is still alive today or died of natural causes, but not suicide.
Incredible. And this is something that has, this was birthed out of your own trauma, your own pain. You parlayed that pain into something effective and powerful.
Right.
Before we take the first break, would you mind kind of speaking a bit on that? Like when you decided this is something that needs to start happening?
Oh, gosh, yeah. So, back in 2011, I was in the military. I got out just a couple of years ago. I've always been a chaplain. And so I was at Fort Jackson. My oldest son was at Charleston Air Force Base. We had to go down to Fort Jackson to do dignified transfers. That's where the caskets roll off of the back of the C-130, and you render honors and take care of the wounded and honor the dead. And then afterward, our team was gonna tour the USS Yorktown right there in the harbor, an old ship. So I called my son and said, "Hey, come over and eat lunch with us and tour this ship." So we were on the ship walking around, and my oldest son, McCrae, he's an airman, and he knew that I'd gone through some tough stuff. And one of those things being that his brother, my third son, had been injured in a fire, had to be life flighted, and it happened on my watch when Sherry was at the grocery store. So I felt responsible for that. But the thing is, I didn't think I was showing any signs. And he said, "Dad, I know you've been through a lot of tough stuff. I know you wanted to deploy with the 48th, and they messed up your paperwork and some other things that were going on." And he said, "I know you feel responsible for Chad." And he pulled me over to the side and he said, "But Dad, you quit working out." And I'm like, oh, man, that's the one thing I didn't realize was a sign to him.
That gave it away. Something that you've been doing since, forever.
Yeah. Well, you saw the pictures of me and Arnold back in the day. I was 15 years old, Wow. So I've been lifting weights since I met Arnold back in 10th grade, And so he said, "Dad, you're not working out anymore. I've just got to ask you a question." And he's 20 years old at this point, but he'd had 2 hours of training, compliments of the Air Force, and that was enough for him to know he needed to ask, "Dad, are you having thoughts of suicide?" Wow. And that was the turning point. And so a year later, we formed Armed Forces Mission, just working with veterans. It's still the legal name of the organization, but we now operate as Stop Suicide USA because we've gone far and above beyond just working with veterans. We work with everybody.
Time is 8:42. We're going to go ahead and knock out that first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more, not only about some statistics that Lou brought into the studio today with Stop Suicide USA, but we'll also talk more about the event that's going to be hosted at the one and only Bowdon Baptist Church with my man, Pastor Justin Richards, who will be there, of course. It's going to be Saturday, September 26th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Doors open at 8:30. Again, hosted by Bowdon Baptist Church. You can learn more about the event at stopsuicideusa.org/training. Stick with us. Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
And we're back to the Community Voice, Monday, August 10th. Quick reminder to folks, if you're just tuning in to this morning's episode with pastor of Bowdon Baptist Church, Justin Richards, and the pastor of Mount Vernon Baptist, and of course founder of Stop Suicide USA, Kenneth Lou Koon, please hop into the Gradic Communications WLBB News Talk 1330 Facebook page, and I have it pulled up here, so if you have any questions or comments for our guest, I'm happy to read that. And of course, you can also share that link or the link to our Gradic Communications YouTube. Spread the good word and let folks know about the Intervene Challenge brought to you by Stop Suicide USA, coming up Saturday, September 26th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Doors open at 8:30, and it's hosted by Bowdon Baptist Church. Learn more at stopsuicideusa.org/training. All right, Lou, let's jump back into it. So, I mean, we had the chance to speak, you, I, and Justin, a bit before the show about how, 10, 20 years ago, this conversation wasn't happening as much. It was like, a head in the sand type situation. People just sort of pretended it wasn't happening, or they attributed it to weakness, or they attributed it to the devil, or whatever ridiculous thing that people used to say, a long time ago, because often people don't want to understand things they're afraid of, and they don't want to face it. But now we live in a much different age. We are informed, and I think that we as a culture and as a people are reaping the benefits of that, of being informed. I think folks aren't always aware how widespread, the epidemic of suicide is and continues to be. Could you speak a bit to maybe some numbers that you have, some information?
Absolutely. So, overall in the state of Georgia, and Georgia's not the worst state and it's not the best state. It's right in the middle. But since 2000, so 25 years ago, our suicide rate's gone up 50%. Wow. So since we're right in the middle of all 50 states, that's kind of an average for the whole country. So the suicide rate is going up. It's not going down. It's going up. And I brought some statistics. This is straight off of the OASIS website, if anybody's interested. So you can go to OASIS, Georgia Public Health. This is their numbers. And it's pretty revealing. For Carroll County specifically, the past 5-year average has been 13% higher than the state. Wow. And if you look at the past 30-plus years, it's 23% higher than the state. Way. So Carroll County is not doing as good as it could be. So, but, I'm not going to sit here and curse the darkness because of that. No, this is an opportunity for us to do better and to say, hey, we're going to take the lead on turning this around and making a difference in our community. And one of the ways we can do that, I believe, is through the churches. And so thank you again for hosting, because this is an incredible opportunity for us to train a broad cross-section, law enforcement, first responders, firefighters, pastors in the area, community members from the faith community, and the community is at large. So that's what's going on in Carroll County. One of the other things that people probably have never heard the word future economic productivity loss, FEPL, but I've been tracking that for a long time now. And so that's a statistic that if a person dies, what is the economic downside of that for the community? And it's $1.3 million. So, over the past 30 years, Carroll County's had over 500 suicides. So that's $650 million in economic loss to the community. We're not just talking about the salary that benefits the individual household. Imagine for a moment you've got a veteran that eats breakfast every Saturday at Waffle House. And he always, in addition to his $15 breakfast, he leaves a $15 tip for the waitress, because he knows that she's struggling. But if that veteran takes his life, that's $15 a week out of her pocket. Yep. And then he's not going to be buying tires anymore, so that's $500 out of the tire sales. He's not going to be buying groceries. He's not going to give a tithe anymore. Right. I shared this at a political convention, and one of the senators sent us a check for $1,000 because I said, he's not going to be giving you $50 to run anymore for your office. Yeah. And he said, man, I'd never heard that. And so he donated to our organization because he said that's an important thing to think about. Wow. And so that's the economics of it. But then you have to look at the spiritual component, and it just crushes people. I was sharing earlier, I had a suicide call Tuesday night, had to be on the scene down in my hometown, and now I'm dealing with the son, and just the contagion effect of suicide, because one suicide begets another suicide. And so that's one of the reasons that I show up after the suicide. You say, well, why didn't you show up before? Well, I didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So
As we mentioned earlier, I mean, very specialized training is often what results in people identifying something small, like not going to the gym anymore, not
Right.
golfing anymore.
Right.
Sure, it may be a torn rotator cuff or something, but at the end of the day, it could be indicative of a massive, massive shift in their emotional well-being.
Absolutely.
So maybe we could talk a bit about, thank you so much for sort of establishing that, but maybe you could speak a bit about the event itself. Again, folks just tuning in, this is the brought to you by Stop Suicide USA. It's the Intervene Challenge. Maybe you could speak a bit to what folks can expect out at Bowdon Baptist Church on Saturday, September 26th.
First of all, I'd say this. It's a heavy subject, but you're not going to walk away depressed. You're going to walk away empowered,
Right.
and excited about the reality that, hey, if I have a situation where I need to intervene, I'm going to be able to do it now. We're not trying to train everybody to be Dr. Phil. We're trying to train people. Our goal is for people to be aware.
Right.
And if we can be aware and just be a friend and a peer that's willing to ask tough questions, that's where a life is saved. I've got a good friend. His name is Kevin Briggs. He was a cop, California Highway Patrolman. He's done hundreds of interventions on the Golden Gate Bridge. And I tell people all the time, nobody wants to be you. He knows that. Nobody wants to be me.
He's a legend. I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen him.
Oh my gosh,
100 times on TV and Reddit and everything.
Well,
else.
He's done the TED Talks,
Yeah.
and so millions of people know who he is. But nobody wants to be him because he's the last line of defense. And so I tell people all the time, I know you don't want to be Kevin because he's the guy on the bridge trying to help. But let's be the guy that gets to the people before they get to the bridge in the first place.
Give him a break, hopefully some folks can help carry that weight before. And then he won't have to be standing there literally, I mean, it just makes me think of thankfully I have two pastors in the studio with us today. Who was it? Who's it wrestled with the angel?
That's Jacob.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this man's out on the bridge, wrestling, doing his best to try to help, that's a tall order to try to remind someone they're worth staying here, and that they're worth being here, and that they're loved and they're not alone.
Right.
And this is something that you, of course, can get at. I'm going to be a major topic of conversation at the Intervene Challenge event. Well, as we discussed, time's flying. It's 8:51. We did get our first comment already from Eddie Billman, and it just says Justin Richards! ! So this is what I'm telling you.
PFC Eddie Billman. Good to see you this morning, Smiley. Appreciate you checking in.
Appreciate you, Eddie.
Marines checking in this morning.
What's up? Hoorah! Appreciate y'all checking in. We're going to go ahead and knock out that last commercial break to hear from our sponsor. We'll come back. We'll continue our conversation with Justin and Lou as we discuss Stop Suicide USA's upcoming Intervene Challenge, Saturday, September 26th, Bowdon Baptist Church from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Doors open at 8:30. Don't miss it. StopSuicideUSA.org/training. Stick with us. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
And we're back to the Community Voice, Monday, August 10th. We got another comment on our WLBB News Talk 1330 live stream. It says, thank you for supporting this event. That's from Rebecca Osborne Gray. Rebecca, thank you so much for hopping in the chat. We're so pleased, again, to have Justin Richards, pastor of Bowdon Baptist Church and the locale of the Intervene Challenge, brought to you by Stop Suicide USA, Lou Koon's organization, who's also a pastor at Mount Vernon Baptist in Fairburn. Again, this event is Saturday, September 26th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Doors open at 8:30. Learn more at stopsuicideusa.org/training. If we could, I know we only have probably about 5 minutes left. I'd love if we could, Justin, if we could get a bit more input. Anything you want to share with the community in regards to this event. Anything you'd like to share.
Yeah, so just real quick, we've seen a really encouraging shift in the life of our church family at Bowdon Baptist Church. This fall, we've started all kinds of new ministries to be able to minister to needs. So Miss Rebecca chimed in just a minute ago. She started Grief Share yesterday, so our first Grief Share group. Last night, I got to sit down with about 10 couples for our first Re-Engage Marriage Enrichment group, right? Student discipleship going on. We have financial training that's going on. For those of you who don't know, I serve on our Family Connections board, and our focus has been shifted from foster care and adoption to now mental health awareness in Carroll County. So obviously it hits, all of these conversations hit very close to home for me, and I've already shared it. So in our church family, had the privilege of being able to intervene in a suicide situation a few years ago, and then also missed the mark on one. So obviously for me as a pastor, exactly what Lou was talking about a minute ago, that person that is in crisis, I want to be more aware, and I want our people to be more aware, and again, that it's the larger community. Obviously, in our church family, we want to take care of our church family, but we also know our responsibility. We're called to love the community. And so, we take care of our flock, obviously, but I understand that I have a responsibility, and all of our pastors know that. Like, if somebody walks up to you at the coffee shop and asks you a biblical question, you don't go, man, you're going to have to go ask your pastor that. Like, I'm not answering that question.
Not everybody knows that, so I'm glad that you do. I hope that folks listening, that's a beautiful thing to hear.
Yeah, that's our job. We're ministers to the community, and God's put us in our communities for a reason. So just excited about where Bowdon Baptist Church has positioned itself to be able to minister, to our flock. Obviously, everybody that was in my group last night was all BBC folks, but a couple of folks that came to Grief Share, they're not a part of our folks. Folks that came to financial discipleship last night, they're just community members that are like, hey, I really could grow in these areas. So we get that, and I'm so excited that our church family is like, hey, let's put an investment in that, and this is it, right? To be able to host an event, invite our community in, because like we said, our church folks are going to be there, but we're obviously going to have, I hope, some sheriff's deputies that are in there, some EMTs that are in there. I mean, we've got a huge psychology department right here at the University of West Georgia, my alma mater, go Wolves. That we're like, hey, there's some opportunities to make yourself better at what you do.
That's good.
That's beautiful. And to interject just a quick moment of levity, Bobby Gaines wrote a comment and said, what town is Bowdon Baptist in? I appreciate you, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby. I always got count on Bobby for a comment.
Appreciate
Thanks, Bobby
you.
Gaines.
And oh my God, my girl, my dear friend Sarah Bearden, she said, thank you for your service. Hashtag brother, sister in Christ.
Amen.
Thanks, Sarah, thank you so much.
Appreciate
we love Sarah out at Dreamscape and Raised Right. She is such a I've brought mental health issues to her. That's for true. Like I've had a tough day, and I've definitely put it out on her. Thank you, Sarah. And again, that's beautiful, man. The sheriff, Terry Langley, Police Chief Joel Richards. Yeah. We really would love if officers and EMTs, firefighters, that folks might want to have this extra. A bit of extra training, a bit of extra awareness.
For sure.
That, you might be able to be the guy that, and gal that intervene before they end up on the bridge.
That's right.
And then someone has to talk to them. Yep. Lou, we only have about 2 minutes left. Yep. If you could share anything and everything you'd like to share with the listeners.
In 2 minutes, right. First of all, shout out to Family Connection in Carroll County. Thank you. I know you're on the board, and so that's great. We love Family Connection. It's an unique organization all across the state. Every county's got a Family Connection. We are unique in that regard, and so we've done a lot with them. The other thing too is this: I can't save the world, but there's a, and I'm a Christian. I use the Bible, but there's a great verse in the Talmud, which is Jewish scripture, and it says this: "Save a life, and it is as if you have saved the world." So I cannot save the world, but it may be that I can save somebody's world. And that's what we want to do. We want to instill courage and excitement in people's lives that are there to learn this tough stuff, so that they can go out and save somebody's world. And that's the whole purpose of this. And I know that's what law enforcement's about. I know that's what the first responder community, they're all about that. They do get CE credit for showing up, so it's approved for post credit, and I hope they'll come out. I know the sheriff has been in our classes a few years ago, so hopefully he can help spread the word as well.
We love it, man. We love it so much. And, of course, leave it to Rebecca Osborne Gray. Hop in the chat, helping folks out. 205 Mill Street, Bowdon, Georgia. We love you, Rebecca. And we love you guys as well. Justin Richards, again, pastor at Bowdon Baptist Church. Lou Koon, pastor of Mount Vernon Baptist in Fairburn, founder of Stop Suicide USA. Do not miss Intervene Challenge. Saturday, September 26th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Doors open at 8:30 at Bowdon Baptist Church. Learn more at stopsuicideusa.org/training. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who tuned in at home. We'll see you next time.